What's up, actors, performers, creative community out there? It's great you guys are joining the channel today. I'm super excited about today's session because we're gonna study one of the most important acting skills, period. It's one of those fundamental elements any great and any remarkable acting performance needs. And if you're wondering by now, yes, it's still Lorenzo under this quarantine beard. It's still the COACHMC studio. This is still the place where we'll help you to shape unique behavior deliveries, where we'll help you to get recognized in the audition room. And today, I want to talk about core and mask, about this epic conflict inside of us and how we can use it, whether we are building our character to study for a scene, a movie, a play, an audition, or just even to say one single line. This crucial instrument will help you to spice up your behavior delivery enormously. And today I also want you to take a notebook and some pencils. We're going to do a slightly different session. We're going to have a theory part and a practicing part, and I want you to take some notes along the way so you don't miss out on anything. You know, just to show some love and appreciation, just give us a thumbs up right away and subscribe to the channel if you haven't so far, because truly our mission here is to create a great and thriving acting community. But without further ado, let's jump right into it and let's see what's cooking. Deep down here, we have our core, our guts, our intestines, our digestive system, our intuition, our sixth sense, our willpower. Our core stands for all the things that we truly believe in, our values, our ethical codes, our principles upon which we act on a daily basis. This is our core. And up here, we have the mask. And you could say that the mask is the game that we have to play. How we adapt, adjust, and react to society, to our working conditions, to our relationships, friends, and families. This is the status quo. And this is the value, core and mask. In a nutshell, that's the basic explanation. How can we use that though, for our own acting purposes? Because you see, I've watched hundreds of auditions. You know, working with colleagues, working with casting directors, working with my students, with my clients, I see that people don't seem to fully grasp the whole potential that lies underneath this epic conflict. Then how can we use that to really spice up our delivery enormously? Because in this video today, I'm gonna show you how to use this simple instrument. And once you get used to it and once you practice it over and over again, you will see how easy it is to right away, once you get the lines, once you get the sides, once you get the scene that you have to play, spot where is core, spot where is mask, and how we can use it to really maximize our performance, to really create something epic and grand and something really worthwhile watching. Even though you just have 10 minutes, with this instrument, you can immediately break down what the character actually is all about, what he believes in, and what he has to adjust and adapt to. What is the game that he has to play, and what is the principle that he likes to act upon. And once you get those elements clear and carved out of the lines, out of the text, out of yourself, you will realize how enormously it will help you to bring a performance to life right away, even if you just have a couple of minutes. That said, now I want you to grab your notebook, your pencils, gonna run some nice music, and we're gonna start with a very simple drawing just to get the picture clear, and then we're gonna jump into our little game later to really see how we can use this principle and how we can start to excavate it out of our inner self, alright? So let's jump right into it. Let's draw, let's be creative. Don't worry guys, you don't have to be Michelangelo to do this. Just a simple circle. Right? A big belly, a fat guy. This is our core. And our core stands, like I said, for our beliefs. This is what we believe, our belief. You could say it's also our value. Our core. This is our first circle. Now, let's draw a single straight up line over here. Something like that. This could be our neck. And then let's draw a smaller circle. Our head. This is our mask. Okay? You can also say our mask is our ego or our status quo. Pretty simple. Okay? Now, 2, 3, 4 single straight lines. These are our hands. And down here we have our feet. Our hands They stand for the actions that we take based upon our principles or on our mask, how we behave, what our actions are. And our feet, they indicate the directions where we go. Good direction, bad direction, good choice, not so good choice, right? This is where we go. This is what we do, this is what we think, and this is who we truly are. In a nutshell, again, that's basically it. So how can we transform this very schematic, very easy diagram into a vivid, into a believable, into an epic performance? How can we morph this information into something that becomes tangible for everybody to see? So let's put this into a case study right away. Let's assume your agent calls you and he tells you, hey, big thing tomorrow, got an audition, episode role for a crime series, get ready for this. I'm sorry, dear agent, do you have any information besides that? Oh yeah, he's a great surgeon, he's a great doctor, upright guy, yeah, and he has a big conflict, I don't know anything else, I send you the lines later, bye-bye. Now we have one single piece of information, nothing else. We know you're a doctor, great surgeon. How can we break down the role? How can we determine what this doctor believes in and what this mask is, where the conflict lies, and how this epic clash can transform into a vivid and beautiful performance? Just with this single unit, with this single vector, by applying this instrument right here, we can see how this whole thing shapes out of the two-dimensional of a sheet of paper into the third dimension of actually acting upon, of being a dramatic and beautiful performance. Let's get to it. This is our case study. Let's assume you're a doctor, you're a surgeon, you get called into the emergency room, you get yourself ready, you clean, you sanitize, you get your scrubs on, and they roll the patient in, and you get the info, and you read the sheet, you read the info, and there it says, he's a ruthless criminal, a violent guy, and he killed several people, and he's a convicted murderer. How does that affect us? How can we react to that? How should we react to that? What does it do with us? How does it transform our performance? You see, what does the doctor stand for? What does he believe? If he's a real doctor, just rewind the tape for a couple of seconds. A doctor, in order to get to the position that he performs surgery on patients, till he's established and renowned surgeon with a great reputation, until he gets there, he has to put in enormous work effort. Practice and try and fail, and you have to go to universities day in, day out, and then you have 2 years of internship where you get treated like shit. It's a nightmare. In a nutshell, becoming a doctor for 6 years straight is a simple nightmare. And even after 6 years, you have to kind of work 4 years in a hospital to get through all the departments and work the ladder up till you get to the point where you actually say, okay, now I'm actually performing surgery. Now I'm at a point where I want it to be. So your belief is health, is medicine. You have an ideal. You became a doctor and you endured so much because you truly believe in saving other people's life, giving people back to their environments, to their relationships, to their, usual habits. That's what you're there for. That's what you truly believe in. This is your value. These are the principles you act upon. A violent person, a criminal, somebody who doesn't care about other people's lives, about their environments, about their families, who stands for everything that is bad and evil in our society. What do you do? How do you decide? Of course, the script is our Bible, and we have to do what the script tells us. But you have to get prepared. You have to become the role. You have to become the character before you approach the script. You have to rehearse for yourself before you step in front of the camera, you go on stage, or you get into the audition room. You have to offer something. What do you offer? You offer this. You offer this epic conflict. You don't just have to say one line and look good in front of the camera. You have to be this ball. You have to be this oscillation between those two big polarized forces. You have to realize the magnitude of the conflict you are in. Because this is a lifetime conflict. Everything you stand for now is tipping against you. The whole world is basically upside down. In this very moment, just with one single line, you realize how big this is. It's not just one line. It's the whole life that you have to interpret, that you have to play. And the life that you play in this very moment stands for all these things we just have written down on the board. And the other guy, the other role, stands for all the things that are not on this board, everything that is opposite to that. So you see what epic clash that is. Now, let's assume, just for the sake of it, it's just slightly bigger role. It's not just a one-liner that you have to say, it's a bigger episode role in this crime series. And you will have another scene. Because this principle here that I just showed you guys is when you have to act, when you have to perform, when you have to take a decision. Let's say you have another scene where you have to react. Let's see how this principle, we talked about core a lot, now let's focus on the mask. Let's see how the mask principle will help you to react. We said it in the beginning, right? It's the game that we play and how we react to society and all the impulses that come from the outside. So let's assume you have another scene. Let's assume this is a slightly bigger role, an episode role in a nice crime series. And before you have to perform surgery, that surgery room scene before that, there is an office scene where your boss steps into your office and tells you, he's the CEO of the hospital, and he tells you have to perform surgery on a convicted murderer, by the way, this afternoon. So get ready. So how do you react to that? Now, it's not about acting, it's about reacting. It's the mask, right? It's the game that we have to play. Again, there is this epic conflict. Here is your belief system. Here is your duty, your status quo, the game that you have to play, what you have to do, your job. Again, maybe it's just one single line, but you see how big this gets right from the start? How much potential there is when you're using this instrument? What will you say to your boss? Of course, what's in the script. But before you say what's in the script, how do we serve the words of the authors the best? By creating something epic before that. By creating something really big and entertaining and worthwhile watching for the audience. It's not just, okay, I do it. It's, I do it. This little game here will help you to create a bigger contrast, to bring more color and more temperature to this whole performance. Actually, I made a video about this a couple of months ago. Make sure to check it out because it touches upon some of the elements we're talking about in this video too. And it will help you to boost your performance also enormously. It's colors, contrast and conflict. Spot those 3 C's and you have a great performance right away. And it touches upon certain things that we talk about today. But today we're talking about in even more depth about what's really essential about this. And once you make it big, the bigger you make it, the greater the tension, the more epic the conflict is, the more entertaining your performance will be, even with just one single line. Let's assume there is a third scene. It's an even bigger role. You go home before you perform surgery and you talk with your partner who is also in the medical business. Maybe he's a great surgeon too, your husband or your wife, your partner, your relationship, and you talk about this. You know, I have to perform surgery on a convicted murderer. What do I do? Maybe your partner is in favor, maybe he's contrary. Again, there is a conflict. So you see, out of one principle, you have 3 different conflicts, 3 totally different ways of approaching this problem. And a lot of acting potential you can spot right away. Assume you are at the casting director's office after you've done an audition and says, you know what, you're not good for this one. Take this side over here. I give you 15 minutes. Close yourself down in the closet. I want you to do this audition right here. I think this is way more suitable for you. So look at the side. He's a doctor. He's a lawyer. He's a cab driver. Whatever it is. Where is his core? What is his belief? What are the principles this character acts upon? What is his mask? What is the game that he needs to play? What is the adaptation he has to make, the compromises that he have to take to survive in this life? Close yourself down in the closet, make this little diagram for yourself, write it down, and spot it right away. Get out of the closet and you will be more secure and safe and less nervous about everything that you have to do because you say, you know what, I have the guiding compass already. I know what yin and yang of this character is actually all about. And this is also a very powerful tool to not be too distracted by the exterior impulses. Because if you navigate with those 2 principles, you are safe, you're grounded. It helps you to build a very strong and effective character. Because you know exactly, okay, this is my compass, this is what he believes in, and this is his mask. And right now you're building up this conflict. You don't need the exterior impulses that much anymore. I'm not saying that you should shut yourself down, or lock yourself down from the environment. By all means, of course, take in what's necessary, discard the rest and what's useless. But in a nutshell, this is the basic principles you want to navigate upon. This is where your ship ships to, right? This is where you ship your containers, where you bring your delivery. So you got to save, calm down, wait for the impulse. If they're not good, continue with your route, with your diagram, with your game plan. Now, this is a big theory chunk right here. We're gonna jump into the practice and we're gonna see on a very easy example, by showing you with a very easy example how you can use it as an improv at home to kind of determine right away what your character is all about. You can do this too wherever you are, actually. This will help you to kind of feel the magnitude of your decisions and the implications of this epic conflict. So, okay, let's stratify all this theory, all this information a bit deeper by practicing really quickly. Just play this game. It's a little improv that we do all together. Let's establish first what core mask actually is and how the character reacts to it by, having this little template right here. Really quickly, suck, just draw down this rectangle, boom, divide it. Again, core on the left, mask on the right. Okay, now let's assume we have the scene. Patient gets rolled in, you get the information about this patient, you have to perform surgery on him, and you read, okay, this is a convicted murderer. What does your core tell you? I can't. Write down. This is your exclamation. This is what your core tells you. This is super important. The core tells you, I can't. No way. Let's make a whole line out of it so it becomes more tangible. I can't perform surgery on this subject, okay? I can't perform surgery on this subject. I can't perform surgery on this subject. And now comes the magical part. Ask yourself 5 times why. Drill deep. Because this is okay to start with, but it isn't enough for the whole scene, for the whole performance. You have to feed this exclamation with something more substantial. And in order to do that, just ask yourself 5 times, why can't you perform surgery on the subject? Now, 5 rays. Why can't you perform surgery on the subject? Because he's a convicted murderer. So, because he stands against all my ethical codes. So, because he's a violent person. So, because he takes lives away. I'm gonna save lives. I'm not gonna save someone else's life who then stands up and kills somebody else. This is not what I do. I'm a doctor. I'm here to heal people. He's there to destroy people. I'm not gonna perform surgery on the subject. Period. This is my core. This is what my core tells you. 5 times why. Now, let's see what the mask tells us. Again, same situation. You get the infos about the patient. You're ready to perform surgery. Okay, I will. First exclamation. Of course, again, that isn't totally enough. Okay, I will perform surgery on the subject. Again, 5 times, ask yourself, why? Because it's my duty. Why? Because that's what I do. Why? Because that's my job. That's why I get money. Why? Because I swore an oath. This is what I do. I'm a doctor. I save lives. I don't give a shit who this guy is. He's a human being. I swore an oath to save lives no matter what. I will save his life too. This is the mask. You can also say this is part of the core though too, right? Because it's this ideal. Of course, it's not that easy to kind of, hold them apart, to separate them clinically, right? We're not doctors. We're creative hive minds. So one thing is the other thing, the other thing is the other thing. So it's never clear where one thing ends and where the boundary actually is. But the mask tells you that you have to perform your duty no matter what, even if you don't believe that you're doing the right thing. There's a little question. How many times have you adapted to situations even though you weren't fully convinced you're doing the right thing? It starts from little things like eating and drinking things you're usually not eating and drinking to, big things, small things as well as the big things. They are all, in a nutshell, placed in here. Believe and mask. How many times have we said things that we don't really think just to make somebody else happy or to adjust in a working situation or to give praise to our boss even though we know he doesn't deserve it? Again, this is the epic clash. This is the epic conflict that we hold inside of ourselves. Each and every one of us. I can't perform surgery on this subject. He's a ruthless killer. It goes against my ideals of being a doctor. I'm saving lives. He takes lives away. Find someone else. Boom, here you have a conflict. And show what the conflict does to you. You have to do it because it's in the script, but you build up a conflict that's truly epic and worthwhile watching and very entertaining for the audience, because in a nutshell, everybody understands what you are going through in this very moment. Try this out for yourself. Write down what your beliefs are, what you truly stand for, what your principles are, what your values are, how you act upon those principles on a daily basis. Are you truly honest and loyal to your principles all the times? Are you really following all of your values and all of your beliefs every time you step out of your comfort zone? Where do you adjust? Where do you adapt? How do you react to society? What does the mask tell to other people while your core believes something completely else? Run this little experiment with yourself and then take your last character that you had to interpret, or a new one for a big audition that is coming up. Run this template. What does the core tell? What does the mask say? Where does this character go? And here's an additional tip at the end for you guys. Because I talked about polarizing forces and that we live in a world of dualism. And that's true. You know, everything basically is yin and yang. But it isn't as clear sometimes as the picture might appear to be. What I'm trying to say with this is, don't let anyone win. You don't have to be the judge. It's not about winning or losing. It's not about good or bad. It's about how entertaining it is. The more you fluctuate in between those polarized forces, the higher the resistance is, the more interesting your play and your performance will be. It's not about winning. It's not about, yeah, the good has to win. No, the bad has to win because it's more entertaining. No. It's about that you have to deal with both forces, that you have to deal with your inner turmoils, that you have to deal with your ethical spinal cord. What does this situation tell me at my core? Like, truly and realistically react to that. It's way more important than to decide who the winner here is. Because there are no winners. Life is the winner. And the entertainment of the audience will be definitely a winner for you. Don't be judgmental about your character. Just follow him wherever he goes. It might hurt, but once you get this clear, you know exactly what your character thinks, what he's all about. Again, if you just have 15 minutes to prepare this, or 15 days, it doesn't really matter. You can break this down really quickly. Of course, more time you have to explore it, the better it is, but sometimes we can also overdo things. So go with your guts, go with your instincts, and then see what the opposition is, where the opposite force is, what clashes against those beliefs. And you will see you will have a great and very interesting performance. Let me know what you think of all this. Run this experiment for yourself. Send us your videos. Use this instrument as much as you can. Try it again and again, and you will see after a while it becomes an automatic response to the sides that you are receiving. And that means that you're already in there, in this channel of thinking in between those two polarized forces, of acting in between those two polarized forces, and creating a lot of tension, a lot of contrast, a lot of very interesting facets and colors. And you just have to decide how much intensity you want to put into this. The script will tell you what to do, but you decide how much you wanna, turn the volume up or down. How much he kind of oscillates in between those two epic forces inside of ourselves. That is what life is all about. This is definitely one of the guiding principles of any great act. Make sure to put it into your system and exercise it as much as you can. And give us feedback, because ultimately, we're just waiting for that loop of energy we're always talking about. See you next time, guys. It's been a great pleasure sharing these tools with you guys. Make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell button so you get notified every time we grind out a new video. Share this video to your community, because ultimately our mission here at the COACHMC Studio is to create a thriving community of great actors for ever better performances, truly remarkable performances. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And check out our website. What's up with our website? We built it for you guys, the COACHMC.studio. Sign up with our newsletter, enjoy the calls, enjoy the informations there. Make sure to check out our adventures on Instagram and Facebook. It's the COACHMC. Okay, now that's it. Maybe I shave after this video, if I find a shaver, a razor somewhere. Okay, see you next time, guys. Stay safe, stay healthy.